people? We are back. A2TP podcast. Back for another episode of us. It's your boy International Walk. Sitting here with
your girl Tasha, co-host with the mostest.
And we back for another episode of us. We back, y'all back. We hope y'all enjoyed last episode. We back for another episode. Cut all that. Let's get right to it. How are you?
That was rude. I'm good. I am good.
Your whiteness comes out, boy. That was rude.
Why is that?
Because that's white people's word. That's their word. When they want to weaponize stuff, when they want to act like they're victims, they say you're rude in any situation.
They do weaponize it, but it is warranted in some cases if somebody's being rude. I wasn't saying you were rude to me.
No, I'm just saying whatever.
Yeah, okay. You weren't rude to me.
Yeah, if somebody's being rude, you should say you're rude, but it's just
It was just kind of curt, like forget all that, like just forget all the niceties. Let's just get to it. But I'm good. Mentally, I'm probably a 9.
What's exactly does curt mean?
Curt, like short, abrupt.
Okay.
Like kind of like not like you cut people off, but you're kind of just short. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder why it's called that, like being curt, like somebody's name, like a man's name. Curt is Curt.
I think it's Kirt.
Oh, okay. I thought it was Curt, but yeah. I've never written it, so okay. But yeah, I am good mentally. Probably like a 9. Feel good. This weather is like, well, but we need the rain, so we gonna get it. Finances are a 9. Grateful. Yeah. Work is a 9. Work is good. Yeah, no complaints. Work is good. And physically, what'd you say?
Nothing.
Physically, I'm probably a 9 too. Only because I know it's because of the weather. Like I feel a little lethargic. Like this is like good cuddle weather. If I ain't have like if we didn't have plans for like family this weekend, this is a good like bunker.
It's gonna rain for 4 straight days.
I know, this is a perfect bunker down cuddle weekend. Like the weather just put a damper on cookouts, all that kind of stuff. Like Memorial Day weekend, that's like the unofficial start of summer. But this year it's like
people will be down the shore in the rain.
That's crazy.
Yes, people will be. I bet you when we watch the news over the weekend, they will cut and say people are on this boardwalk in the rain.
I was going to say, I'm sure.
Whenever the weather breaks, if it does, some people are going to be on the beach.
That's insane.
It is insane.
And like our neighborhood, there was supposed to be a pool opening this weekend. I don't know if they're still going to do it because who's going to the pool? It was supposed to be like a big summer thing, but that's the thing with this time of the year, summer or not. If you plan something in like late June or July, yeah, it can rain because it can rain anytime, but it's less likely. Now, you don't know if it's going to be 100 degrees or 80 degrees, but April and May, you
can get rained out.
It could be a washout, yeah.
You can get rained out.
So yeah, I'm like 9s across the board. Again, nothing is wrong, nothing is hurting.
Right after your event.
Or it'll be heavy rain on a forecast, and then that day will come and it's like, it didn't even happen. But again, the earth needs it. Time to see some pretty flowers and all that kind of stuff. So
I'm for it. The rain is good.
How are you?
I'm good. Mentally, I feel like a 9. Mentally, I feel like a 9. Money wise.
Finances?
I don't know what the fuck be wrong with me sometimes. Finances be a 9. I think they be a 9. Work be a 10. Work is great. Yeah, work is great. Don't want to count my chickens before they roost, but work is great. Before they hatch.
Yeah.
What did I say? Roost. And physically, I feel like a 10. I feel good. My pounds is down. This last 9 pounds is going to be hard to lose because I was 237 and all of a sudden I'm 239 again. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but whatever.
Bodies fluctuate like that. Yeah.
I think it'd be like water intake, a meal, a shit, whatever, it'll balance out.
A little blue.
But trying to get down 9 pounds to 230 and then see You know, if my baby like my physique, then I'm good. And start toning up, getting real, like, ripped. But 9 pounds, it's like the last 9 pounds. It's like, ugh.
And, you know, I've seen some people say, like, you might, especially in a weight loss, on a weight loss journey, you know, your first 20 pounds might come off in like 2 to 3 months, and then you can have like 10 pounds to lose that might take 6 months, because your body has adjusted. Yeah, you gotta, like, you don't want to starve yourself, but you gotta find new ways to, like, switch it up, kick it up a notch, like do a whole bunch of not even like do a whole bunch of things,
just
but
move your body differently.
Yeah, like change it up so your body's like, oh, this is something new, because we got used to the old thing.
Yep. And we got content with burning whatever we was burning, and then that's it. We kind of plateaued. But when you move your body different, it's like, oh, we coming from different directions now. Let's burn a little over here, burn a little over here, burn a little back there, burn a little under here, burn a little between there.
What's your wild adventure this week?
Wow, no woes. I got no. Well, my woe is we were supposed to go to Georgia to see our niece graduate, and we didn't end up doing that because flights is just ridiculously expensive. Like, I don't know what the airlines is going on. The Spirit dump, just the airlines for the past 18 months, 2 years. The prices have been ridiculously high to go
right
places.
Now, gas.
Yeah, to go. Yeah, I think that's probably a big part of it. To go places that, you know, we frequented before. And we didn't go this time, but we saw it on a live stream, and as a gift to her, we flying her up here so we can see her. So that's the woe that we didn't go, but the wow is that we're going to see some family this weekend and hang out with them, and, you know, get a chance to put eyes and hug people and stuff like that. Get some touch from family. So that's my wow and woe tied into one.
So my woe is that somebody who I love, who I knew before he was conceived, you know, he's my nephew, not by blood but by love. I don't want to give too many details. You know, I like putting people's business out there, but he was in an accident, a water vehicle accident, and it was pretty scary. We were out on a date on Saturday. When I found out, and that's when it happened, and it was just pretty scary. My faith in God is strong, and I am. My husband says, like, I'm like poly positive a lot, like, you know. I like to look at the optimistic side of things, but I was worried. I was really worried. Just, you know, our babies, not even just our babies, in life in general, like, anything can happen in a flash of an eye, and it just like and that's how I felt for like a couple days. Like, I was holding my breath, and it just didn't feel good. My wow, I got 2 wows today, is he is recovering, he is doing better, and I am so grateful that the story is what it is and not that it's something different. So I'm extremely grateful for that. My other wow, I'm not even so much, we would have wanted to be there in person for the graduation. Not only the pricing, just the logistics. My baby is doing a new, huge, very important job. So we literally would have had to like do like a 24-hour turnaround. The logistics, the pricing, it didn't, I'm not gonna say it didn't make sense, but the alternative and the compromise that we were able to make, I'm grateful for that. And being able to, you know, she's a big girl, you know, being able to have her come. And even when our kids came before 2 summers ago, she didn't come with them. So she's been wanting to come back to Philly. You know, they've been going for 3 years now. She's been wanting to come back and visit. And I'm happy that we were able to gift her that. And just seeing her even virtually walk across that stage, get her diploma, you know, it was just a wow moment. You know, not that she had a damn choice, like, she got to graduate, you know, but things could have gone different. You never know what can happen in kids' lives.
She does have a choice, though. She could have not went through with it. She could have rebelled. She would have got
her ass whooped. But no, I'm being.
Kids do that.
I get it. I'm just saying. high school. It's not like, okay, college graduation is great if you do, but that ain't required. But you're required to finish high school. Yes, things could go left. You could be a kid that rebel and it just don't happen, but you ain't getting off on that easily. But I'm just extremely grateful. Her journey has been her journey, and our family has had to have some come to Jesus moments and some prayers, and I really, really see the growth and maturation in her, and I'm just excited about whatever her future holds. She's our baby. She's 18 and she's the oldest niece on my side, but she's still a baby, and I love her dearly, and just being able to see her graduate, the joy that my sister had, the preparation that my sister was going through. Like, she had big pictures blown up so that they could hold, just all the things that she went through, and I'm excited to be able to celebrate with our family this week.
Yeah, that's to hear you say that. It's like watching her walk across the stage. It's like she's not my daughter, but you start to roll a deck. Yeah, like damn, all the things that the baby she was. I held her when she was a baby. Been around her whole life. Like she said, the ups, the downs, the come to Jesus moments. It's like the rally around her. So yeah, I was just sitting back, always rooting for my niece, and to see that she walked across the stage is like, damn, that's what I was thinking when I saw all that. And now, and also, like the happiness that Erica had, and I could imagine, like, God does things for whatever reasons, but we didn't go, and the fact that she was there by herself to not only just to feel the stuff that she burdens as a single mom, but to get the reward to be like, I did this, and I'm present here by myself, and this is my kid. Yeah. So that's huge for her.
Yeah. And her other siblings was there too, and it wasn't the first graduation, but the first graduation of this magnitude, because our nephew, he graduated from a school in Philly, much smaller. It had to be 500 kids in that class, walking across the stage. And of course they do it, in alphabetical order, and you sitting there waiting, and it was virtual, and the TV was buffering, and we was just hoping that it didn't buffer when it was her time. And I thought to myself, damn, for the families where it did buffer, I hope those families were in person, and they didn't miss their kid. But it was awesome. It was really, really awesome, and just full of excitement talking to her today. And I actually was talking to her yesterday before the graduation and asked her how was she feeling. She said, it's bittersweet. I'm like, that's a perfect description of, you're happy, of course, but then it's still, you're gonna not see some people, a change of life, a change of routine, and I don't want to say anxiety, but that feeling of like, okay, what's next, and maybe a little pressure. But she's a good girl, and I'm excited.
As your uncle, I'm super proud of you, and like, again, y'all are in a group. I didn't do that walk, so it's I don't know what that feeling is. I could imagine, like, I don't really understand. I guess it's bittersweet, but I would be thankful. Like, shit, I just did 13 years of school. I'm out this piece, but again, I never did that, so it's just a blessing to see her do it. And I'm sure, like, I hope she enjoys the moment. Like, school is a big deal. Yeah. It's a big deal, no matter how insignificant we think it is, or the shit that they teach us there. We're not going to need that in life, and majority of it you probably won't. But if that's something you giving your parents and you giving yourself, then yeah, I'm all for it. And I'm proud of her.
And the bittersweet feeling comes from, because you establish these relationships for 4 years, and in some cases, depending on where you went to school, you may have gone to school, especially if you live like in a smaller community, for 12 years. You know what I mean? And you see these people every day for 10 months out of the year, or at least every weekday for 10 months out of the year. You that's most of the year. Yeah. And then it's like, the school year ends, and yeah, some of them you may keep in contact with. Some may be going away to school, some may be locally, but and for me, I remember graduating, and it felt bittersweet, but it didn't really hit me until August when everybody started leaving to go to school. One, because I was going to school locally, grew up in Philly, I went to Drexel, so I wasn't leaving to go anywhere. And not only that, Drexel works differently than most colleges where they have trimesters instead of semesters, and they start September instead of August. So it wasn't even like I was starting school at the same time as other people, even though most of them were leaving. I wasn't even starting school yet. So most people leaving in August, and it's like, damn, like, they may have come home on the weekends, or you still talk to them at first a little bit, and then eventually those phone calls died down because everybody getting in the groove of their new life.
Yeah.
So that's where
the new people and shit like that.
That's where the bittersweet feeling comes in, because it's like you may lose some relationships, and not because anything has happened, just because life has gone on, seasons has changed, directions, paths have changed. So it's one of those.
Somebody might be going to school in Ohio or Florida. Or Texas.
It's one of those pivotal moments. And like I said to her, you may have some friends that you maintain relationships with. I am acquaintances with a lot of people because of social media that I graduated with, but out of, I don't know, it was 400, I think like 430 something people that I graduated with. Two, I would say, are friends, like lifelong friends.
Yeah, but did you know all 436 people?
No. I'm just saying.
That's not a good.
But even if I had,
out of 436 people, how many people did you kick it with?
I was gonna say, probably graduating, I would say I probably had like a core 10 friends.
And out of that 10.
Two.
Today, two.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, a lot of the other ones, we see each other, because of social media, that has helped kind of keep that connection. Because without that, it's probably so many people who I would never have seen or talked to again, or like they wouldn't, phone numbers change. And so, yeah, I know for sure I probably would not talk to probably most of them, but the two, Tia and Jade, we've known each other since we were 13, 14 years old, and here we are 30 plus years later. And they were even friends before that, because outside of school. But it's just one of them things where you realize, like, this is a pivotal moment. Like, it's exciting leading up to that. Then it's like, wow, like, y'all cutting me loose. Y'all cutting me loose. And it's almost like this obligatory thing. Now, I know in some families, college is obligatory. I get it. I get it. But not for all families. So it's like this obligatory thing that I had to do for 12, 13 years. I don't have to do that thing.
Right.
Now, our niece is going to school locally. But again, if that was something that she didn't want to do, or she didn't want to do right now, she wanted to, take some time to kind of figure it out, she had the option of doing so. But it's like this thing that it's almost like when people retire. Like, you're excited, but it's like, oh wow, like, now what do I do?
Because because as a kid, it's like an adult having a job. Like you said, you spend most of your time with these people. More of your time, 10 months out the year, 8 hours a day, you spending with these people. So it's like their job. So yeah, when you get away from it, it's kind of like your identity in a sense, and you got to figure out who you are
outside of being a student, a cheerleader, a basketball player,
and
whatever
when you're
you did.
a kid, you're growing into like adulthood too. So that's a different dynamic than just retiring. You kind of being reserved and know who you are. You're just trying to figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do. But as a kid, you're growing into yourself. You're growing into your likes, your dislikes, and you're going to school. So it's a big deal.
Talking about, flights and traveling and, as expensive as it was, TSA, there was recently a post, and I don't know how true all of it is.
Yeah, I've seen some more information, but.
Yeah, but there was a post circulating saying that TSA is, and I'm putting in air quotes, now letting medical weed on planes.
In check bags and carry on. So that was the thing, and you don't have to stash it or hide it no more if people was doing that. A lot of people in comments said that fuck a medical card. They've been taking weed for 10, 20, 30 years all the time. It ain't been a big deal. I also saw more information saying that TSA never, ever looked for weed in the first place. They always look for weapons and the safety of the plane. And if they did find weed, they're obligated to turn it over to the police. Now, the fact that weed has come so far and advanced as far as like it being legal in some states, it would be up to the police to handle, the Philadelphia police to handle what they want to do with it. If it's a certain amount, they might write you a ticket, but you will go through a process. So I'm out right there. I'm not going through no process.
But you said something really important. That's if they find it and if they turn it over.
Yeah.
Because some could see it on the screen and just keep it moving. Some could see it, bring it to your attention, throw it out. Some could see it, pocket it. Yeah. But what made me question...
In the writing, it says they're obligated to tell the police that they found weed, and it's up to the police to do it. So I just want to give that information. It said TSA is obligated to... if they find weed pens or anything like that, they're supposed to tell the police. Now, again, it could be a little ambiguous, like she said, where they just like, fuck it, I ain't going through all that and whatever. But that's the rule.
Yeah, and see, you know where I feel like people can get themselves caught up because, one, there was some language that said about marijuana no longer being classified as a...
it's a Schedule 3 drug now.
Yeah, but...
When it was a 1.
Okay, but still federally, it's considered, even though it might be considered Schedule 3, it's still considered a drug. So it's not legal federally, meaning across the country. In like the state of Georgia, it is not legal. I think only medical is legal, but not flower.
Yeah, so, and they only did that because if you get locked up with 2 pounds of weed, you're not going to get 30 years no more. Yeah. That's the only reason why they schedule it as a 3. So...
to reduce the time.
Yeah.
But see, where I think people better be careful if they not already is, don't think this mean, you could be trafficking, really.
No.
Because you still got dogs that are in the airport that will, walk around, they be sniffing. So this isn't like open season to like, I'm gonna pack a suitcase and just take it as a check bag, and since TSA not gonna say nothing, I'm clear to go. Hell no, you can't like be trafficking. I think this, if it is in fact completely true, it's like for a personal use amount. Yes. Now again, like you said, I know people that have said even before this, like they've always, whether it's putting it in tampons or putting it in the bottom of like socks and rolling up socks. But I've known people that have said for years, my husband, he makes sure that he finds it wherever we travel to. But in no circumstances am I ever comfortable with would I ever be comfortable with doing that?
Nah, never. And it makes me scary because I have a medical card, but it's like I don't even want to go through the process of because I'm just paranoid like that. I'm nervous like that. I don't want to talk to the cops. I don't want to be around the cops. I don't want to talk to no type of authority, especially in the airport where shit is so ambiguous. Like shit is a gray area. I don't know about international shit and the federal laws and the state. Like, nah, I'm not getting caught up in that shit where you got a little bit of weed, now you got this federal fucking charge on you. Nah. Lawyer, jail time, bail, all that bullshit just because you want to smoke a little weed. No, I'll find that shit wherever I'm going.
And you could go through TSA with it 10 times. The 11th time, it could be somebody who just old and wrinkly and they feel like they want to be Mr. Rent-A-Cop, and not disrespecting the TSA job, but this person could feel like they're going to go above and beyond. And you like, come on, bro. Yeah. Like, I done did this however many times, but that person, technically, they might be doing their job. And just because everyone else never made an issue of it, they're going to like,
you've been taking your ounce, and then this person thinks, oh, this ain't personal use. This is a lot. I got to tell the authorities on this. And it's like, nah, this is an ounce of weed. I'm going to be going for a week. Like, this is fine. And nah, you're trafficking.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that.
That's a lot. That's a lot to
I'm not doing that at all.
Be trying to consider, like, I just feel like if you, and I'm saying this like tongue in cheek because my husband and I have had some conversations because he smokes. And, when we go places, we know internationally weed is not legal everywhere. And I'll use this word, I'll say a hurdle that he has to overcome in the future for us to be able to go places where smoking is not an option. But if like you can't do that yet, then just don't, because that's the last thing you want to do is travel to a country that this is like what we were talking about initially was traveling within the states. You definitely don't want to travel to a different country.
In the United States anywhere. It's just like you said, a hurdle if you're going to get weed internationally. You're rolling the dice because if you go to somewhere like Bali, smoking is not an option.
Right.
Like you gonna get to fucking jail for 10 years over there if you want to visit China or some shit. Like
I think Japan,
there's certain places where they look at weed like you chop your fucking hand off, death penalty type of shit, and it's like y'all in the dark ages over here. But those are the places where it's like zero option for smoking. So yeah, I get that.
And you know what? It just this is not as a disrespect to anybody's religion, but it makes me think about like monks and that kind of stuff. Like they don't be in the jungle smoking no weed.
They be smoking opium and opium dens. The motherfuckers be high. They just don't like drugs in their country, but they know about weed and what it does. But
no, I'm saying I know they know about it, but you would think like them like having that sort of Zen mindset.
That's why they smoke heroin.
Opium. Yeah, I was saying opium is worse.
Fucking heroin. They're like on perks and shit. They're on downers over there smoking. So whatever they do. But that shit's a part of their chi, a part of their calmness, to have opium dens and stuff like that.
Talking about jungle, and not that monks live in the jungle, but it just made me think about like tribes and stuff like that. I've recently been watching this, Nature Boy. I don't know if y'all are familiar with it.
Which we don't want to talk about that, but we're going to talk about aspects of it.
Right. So I've been watching, there was a Hulu documentary, like 4 episodes, and then there's a YouTube documentary that's like, somebody said like over 40 episodes. And it's about this cult that started online, I think like in 2016. He eventually went to jail in like 2022, 23, something like that.
4.
Now
it went to jail for.
He went to jail for I think rape, holding somebody, I think holding people against their will. I forget, like it was like 4 charges, and he got I think 2 life sentences, I think, or a life sentence plus 10 years, something like that. He did a lot of bad stuff, but I feel like he may stand a chance on this rape charge because it's just been ambiguous, like what the victim has said. But again, we're not, like you said, we don't want to talk specifically about that situation, which I'm just a little mind blown that this happened like in modern times. And maybe I'm having some self-reflection, and if you've seen it, you know that's funny because he calls people, like he said, hey, reflections. But I'm having some self-reflection because I'm thinking, all this time I've been thinking, wow, how can they be so naive? Maybe I'm the naive one to think, how can people fall for this?
Yeah.
In 2016, this ain't the 70s.
No.
In this modern day time, how can you
where it's happened 100 times, where you had the stuff that happened in Texas and all these different things, the fucking Charles Manson shit, like that we've lived through all that stuff. So,
but you would think because of that, people aren't going to fall for it again.
That's my point. I'm agreeing with you. Like I wouldn't be able to wrap my mind around somebody telling me that they're God, or the king, or the Messiah, or whatever the fuck they want to do.
Master teacher.
You go to these places, you have to give over your finances, cut your family off, and live off the land. Now, again, these people are in wherever they
beautiful place. They've traveled through Central America, Costa Rica, Honduras, Belize, Mexico.
This particular one, but there's also ones that be in Atlanta. There's also ones that be in Texas and stuff like that. They were
in both of those places for a while because they got kicked out.
And most of the time, it's some big house that they built and live in and all that kind of stuff. And they do things and have to bring money back to the guy who's running it. He sleeps with all their women, all their wives, gets everybody pregnant. So it's like a pyramid scheme of people. And the top is him and all the workers, and it's like a tree, and everybody at the bottom, it funnels money up, and all the goods go up to the one person at the top. Like she said, in 2016, after living through all that stuff in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, how do you fall and get on a plane and go and join some shit like this.
Yeah, like, and these people have,
and he only wanted black. This is all black people.
No. It was some it was some white people and Spanish people,
but 90% black.
Yeah, like 99. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's one of them things where I feel like, not that we would have been persuaded. I completely, like, I never saw any rumblings, any mention of this on social media when there was like this heavy presence. And it makes me think about how when people talk about like Black Twitter, and this was a part of what they call like the conscious community. And maybe because I don't go on social media to be part of any pact of people. Like, I look for nail designs, I look for dresses, hairstyles, I look for funny stuff. Like, I'm kind of very random on social media. My page is private, so I don't like let strangers follow me. So I'm not looking to be like, oh, I want to be part of, like, I'm gonna follow all of the
conscious people.
Yeah, the conscious people, like no specific group of people. So maybe that's why it just wasn't in my purview.
And in 2016, Instagram wasn't big. Twitter was, and that Black Twitter thing was a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes me think like what could, well, and I'm asking this, but it sounds crazy.
To be blunt.
Is there anything that somebody could say to you? And now let me just preface by saying this, because I know you wouldn't leave me. But so if it was like you and your wife, like, is there anything that anybody could say to you to be like, leave your country, leave your belongings, cut off attachments to anything you know, and move to this place? We're going to live in tents on these beautiful lands. Like, they were in rivers and waterfalls that look like paradise, but like, they didn't believe in going to the bathroom or using like internal plumbing because they felt like the government collects our poop to do something to it. I don't know. But basically, there's a house, but you're really living off the land. Like, is there anything that anybody could say to you to convince you to go off the grid?
No. I've been off the grid 23 years. I'm back on the grid. I ain't going back off for nobody. Like, nobody can't say nothing to me to do no shit like that. I think that's street smarts. That's and again, I don't want to like to bring this down, but it goes back to me always saying when I was a kid, I could never be stolen, because I'm not going for the puppy. I'm not going for the piece of candy. I'm not going for the I know your mom get in the car shit. Like, I will cuss your ass the hell out. Like, I'm just not going for it. But that kind of shit, like seeing through people, like, you God, we should come and give you our money, and you want to sleep with my wife, and like, we got to go out and work and come back and give it to you. Like, nah, fuck that. We're not indentured servants, dude. We're not living here for room and board, and we go out and work and give you shit.
And that, nobody went out and worked or anything like that. It was like whatever money you had
and all that shit
in your bank account, like, we pull all the money together. And nobody was living like a luxurious life or anything like that. Like, he would buy like dirt bikes for everybody to have. He would buy phones for everybody to have. But they did say, like, sometimes he would go out to dinner and they would be eating at home. But it's just like one of them things. I've always said, I feel like we reached a period of time in life where, and when I think about like the Charles Manson stuff like that, this isn't anything new, but I feel like this recent situation, I feel like this is a result of when I say that at some point it feels like parents just let children just figure it out for themselves. And when you're a child trying to figure it out for themselves, you sometimes become an adult that's still trying to figure it out for yourself. Because to be that naive that somebody can tell you one, that they are Jesus Christ. Yeah. And they talking like, what's up, bro, and nigga this, and they
using
like
curse words.
Yeah, they having sex
talking
with
about
your
fucking
girl,
your bitch and all that. But you God though.
And they're and you see, like, and some people who left this particular cult, because again, this isn't specifically about them, but it's just that mindset that has me like, it's making me look at so many people, not like that I know personally, but I did think in my mind, like, I can pinpoint some people that I think would probably be susceptible to something
We never
like this.
asked anybody out there who knows somebody, put it in the comments if you want to talk about it. But I don't know anybody that ever been in a cult. You know anybody that ever thought about being in a cult? Do y'all know anybody that's ever been in a cult? A cousin, a friend, a whatever? Like, tell the story. Let us know that you know somebody that's been in a cult, or yourself. You might have been in a cult. Yeah. And it's just like something you never told nobody. But I've never asked people like, hey, have you ever thought about it? But I would think like you got to be a person, like she said, trying to figure it out. Because if you know who you are and you know, right, you know where you stand in life, in this life, then you're not going to do nothing like that. You're not going to just give up your worldly possessions, and not unless you just so through with it where it's like, fuck it, I'm just going to, you know.
And you know, this might sound a little androgynous, because I think that's the right word. Misogynist is like when you look down on women. What's the opposite is androgyny. So I especially don't understand how so many young men got dragged into this. And the reason why I say especially young men, because what I realized what was done with the women is that these people were encouraged every day to be on social media. So a lot of times a guy would be talking to a woman who was home, but you know, was watching and was interested, and they would start like in these situations, they would be DMing each other for months and building a rapport, building like an online relationship, until this girl finally realized, okay, I'm coming. So, and I say this might be a little sexist towards women. She got lured in by, you know,
being in love with somebody or being attached,
or like, thinking like, yeah, I'm going here for a relationship. Thing. You know, oh, I'm going to live off the land and yada yada yada. I'm going to be free of all of and somebody, you know, a YouTuber or something who was very critical of this was saying these people are coming here to relinquish themselves of their adult responsibilities, like which is very true. Like that's what they did. Like
that's they living off the grid.
Some of them left their kids. Yeah. They left. I mean, leave
the constructs of life, rent, bills, all that kind of shit.
So so that's why I say the men especially. I was like, but yes, the answer is yes. Like you were that lost.
Yeah, I'm about to
and
say
I don't
losers.
Even want to say weak-minded, but vulnerable. To be sucked into believing this and
trying to figure it out.
And to this day in 2026, because I went down not too deep, but a small little rabbit hole. Like
they're still in
it. He's in prison, but they are still in it. They are active on their social media. They are advocating for him to. They're saying this was wrongful persecution, but they are still living in. I don't know exactly where they live. I haven't looked that deep, but they are still living in the jungles, living off the land, like in it, believing that they called him chief, believing that he is God, that he is all knowing, and it's like you really when you
what
say
was the guy name in Texas?
David Koresh. Waco, Texas.
Yeah, like that was the biggest I remember. Yeah. I was kind of young for the Charlie Manson stuff.
Yeah, me too.
All that kind of stuff. It was way early. I was a kid, but
and who was Jim Jones? Yeah, he talked 900 people into drinking the Kool-Aid and killing themselves.
Yeah, that was like wow. That was almost like a myth when I was growing up. Like Jim Jones drink the Kool-Aid. Like what are you talking about? Yeah. And then once I learned about that, it was like like you're right. I wouldn't want to say weak-minded people, but you got to be a person that's trying to figure it out, and you just like in limbo. You're not really stable. You probably not well, some people were married, but
they end up getting married there to people.
People left their kids and spouses and things like that, right?
Well, they left like nobody really said they left their spouse, but they left like their kids and baby moms or baby dads.
Right. Yeah.
But once they got there, they like, and then they would like.
I can't understand it. I can't understand why a person would join a cult in this modern age, but people are lost. We're walking amongst
people searching
people
for
that was
something.
On the short bus when we were little. We're walking amongst people that's searching, that's lost, that don't know who they are, that's looking for a pack, that's looking for a leader, that's looking to be a part of pack mentality. And this is what you get. Which this shit is insane. But in thinking of these people living off the land and all that kind of stuff, we always, time to time, talk about doomsday prepping. And I showed you a reel of a family that dug up their front lawn and put a bunker, like 9 or 10 bunkers in their lawn. You would never know it's there, but they got like an underground house in case some shit happened with a bunch of stuff. Do you think doomsday prepping is necessary, and what should be the starting point?
I think it is very necessary. So necessary to the point that I don't know if people know this. The country, well, the world, I want to say,
already
doomsday prep. They have like a location like Antarctica or something where they reserve like seeds or something, so that if the world, came to an end, they can start civilization over again.
Yeah.
So I do think it's necessary, not just in the case of a catastrophe, but yes, in the case of a catastrophe, but even in the case of like, a recession or something. Like we think about back in the 30s when they were standing in line for a loaf of bread and all that. The way that prices are going with gasoline and who knows? Like, I mean, who knows? I feel like
the way capitalism is going with the separation between rich and
poor. Yeah.
Like, you don't know how big that gap's going to get when people are becoming trillionaires.
I think it's necessary, and I think where you start is just starting. And I say it sounds so simple, but because
if you had to say with what would you start with? I would say water and canned goods.
I would say water, canned goods, and rice.
Okay.
And I will also say storage, because that's the thing too. I think for doomsday prepping, and this might sound crazy, but people talk about looters and stuff like that. Like, God forbid things go bad, people might be trying to break in people's houses too.
They will.
If they know.
will.
If they know, oh, this person got water and I haven't, or this person got a bag of rice and I haven't been able to feed my family, oh yeah, I'm breaking in here. So I think those things, like you said, canned goods, non-perishables, but I think water is essential. Rice, some things that you think that you can eat if heat wasn't an option.
Right.
So, some beans,
non-perishable
some
things.
Tuna, like that kind of stuff, nothing that has an expiration. I mean, most things have an expiration date, but some things, like
if you keep in the airtight, you can hold on to.
Yeah, you buy a can of
rice, beans. Yeah.
The expiration date might say 2030. So and like you said, a bag of rice without opening it.
Pancake mix, shit like that.
Man, what you gonna do with it?
What you mean?
Like, if you don't have heat.
You have a hot plate. If you need doomsday prep, you have that. Did you see that bunker?
A hot plate. Where's the electricity coming?
Did you see the bunker?
I know, but
screen TV.
I know, but I'm talking about us. Like,
you figure it out. You don't just have
like a generator.
Yeah, you don't have like a storage just for. You have a storage in case some shit happen that we can be safe in and we can breathe in too, and sit back and eat and come out and see if things are safe. Not just go down there and get some food.
Oh wow, I wasn't even thinking about a bunker. I was just thinking about supplies. Yeah, I mean, and I know people.
Because after a while, where you gonna keep supplies? You're gonna keep stacking up, and you never got enough supplies, and you need flashlights, batteries. Like, you're gonna start to need a bunch of stuff other than food.
Yeah.
Oxygen tanks, so we can breathe. Like, you're gonna need shit.
That's going like a lot far.
Yeah.
That's going back.
Eyes got big.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's going like a lot
I didn't
far.
think about oxygen tanks. Like, we gonna be somewhere where our air compromised. I might just say, let's lay
bunker,
down.
We
and
got
go
here
to sleep.
breathing and breath and farting, and ain't no windows. Like, yeah, we need some oxygen pumped in there.
Let's just lay down and call it quits. Like,
no. We're gonna eat our Campbell soup and beans, and we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna see the sun again one day.
Yeah, I think. I mean, and even though, again, depending on like if a tragedy was to happen, I think this is old school, but I don't think a lot of people still have this a deep freezer. I think that's essential too. People don't.
You're gonna need to know how to hunt, because again, you might need to go outside, go get a deer, come back to the bunker and feed your family. You know what I mean? It won't be you can't hunt over here in the woods. No, all these deer that's running around getting shot and brought back in people's houses to eat. 3 grams?
Yep.
In Detroit, they have a YN killer, 56-year-old man. is out there in Detroit. What did, come on, babe, help me out. What was his nickname?
He was corned beef.
His name was Corned Beef because years ago he hunted pedophiles down and threw
cans of corned beef at him.
But what was the verbiage?
Like fiercely threw or something like that.
Fatally threw or something. Like fatally threw cans of corned beef at pedophiles' heads to kill them. Yeah. Now he is on the hunt for YNs, all the young people that's running around shooting and killing people. His body count is up to 10. And he carves his name in their forehead. YNK in their foreheads. To say he's the YN killer in Detroit, 56-year-old black man out there on some vigilante justice thoughts.
I'm not. Murder is wrong. Let me just say that. Because I
gotta get the Christian out the way.
Yeah, murder is wrong, and I'm not advocating for anybody to be out there killing somebody. The pedophile thing, I wouldn't have stopped them at all. The YN thing, you gotta think like some of these young kids are, they got parents out here, and if given a different opportunity, there may be some room for rehabilitation, for some of these young kids out there. Because some of these YNs, they like starting at like 12 years old, so and some of them are committing very heinous crimes. But I do feel like there may be at 12. Do you know who you were at 12 compared to who you were at 18, compared to 25, compared to 30? Like, you would be embarrassed at the person you were at 12, seeing if you now have grown to be, an amazing contributor to society. Think about the boy that you were at 13, 14 compared to now. Okay. And if somebody said he need to be taken out of here because he out here selling drugs, he's selling crack to the community. And it's like...
But it's a little bit different from that. I get what you're saying, and I do agree with that when you use me as the comparison, because I was out there selling drugs and doing that. But take me out of it and say, okay, I'm 12 years old or 13 years old with 4 homicides.
It's bad.
Now, can you rehabilitate me? Can you tell the families? It's like, depending on the crime you do, that's when you're looked at like, hey, can we get this kid out of here? Because you can't be 13 years old with 4 homicides and we start talking about your brain ain't right and we got to get you some help. That for me, that's bullshit. Now, the kid out there selling drugs and doing a little dumb shit here and there, yeah, you can rehabilitate that. But when you do crimes of that nature, that young, so it does something to you. You're a killer at 12 and 13 years old.
But I do think, so to answer your question, yes, I think there is a possibility for rehabilitation, even for the 12-year-old killer. Because can you imagine if you're 12, 13, let's just say your dad isn't in the picture. Maybe your mom isn't in the picture either and you're in foster care, right? And you got the old heads who might be 19, 20, 21, like, looking out for you, getting you a pair of sneakers, and they like, young boy, such and such, just, I know you want them Jordans. Like, I just feel like at that age, if you are a lost kid, you are so persuadable. Like, it's so easy for somebody to... We just talked about grown people joining a cult in 2016 at 25 years old. So what you can get a 12, 13-year-old to do. Now, I'm not saying that's all, but I'm saying I do think there is some... Now, do they need to be punished?
I think that's coming out of you.
No, but do they need to be punished? Absolutely. But do they need to be killed?
But you look at the worst... I mean, not the worst. You look at the positive side of it. Because, yeah, if you're a young boy out there and the old heads is pushing you to do some shit because you lost... Yes, you are one of the kids who probably can be rehabilitated. But again, if you're a kid out here 13 years old and you killed 4 people because you wanted to, not because people made you to, because you thought you was a demon because you wanted to, that's a different fucking kid to me. And I think those type of kids, when you and we'll talk about this, but when you in courtrooms putting up middle fingers and laughing and all that kind of shit, to me, you a little bit past rehabilitation. Yeah. After the gravity has caught on that you about to get life or death, and you still, the judge and the prosecutors and all that, you middle fingering. That shit to me is like, nah, you can't be sitting talked to.
I get it. I still don't think you need to be killed, but you may just be a person that like you don't need to see the streets. Like you're gonna be in prison, not like kiddie prison. Like you're gonna even if you're in kiddie prison until you're 18. At 18, we transferring you to big boy prison. I still don't think you should be killed. But you're right. There are some little kids out here that, unfortunately, even at a young age, are so far gone that it's hard to bring them back.
To,
it's hard to bring them back, and bringing them back just may not be an option. But I don't think now for the YN killer. There was another story about a prisoner who he was put in a cell with I'm sorry, he went to prison, and I think the first day he killed 3 people that were charged with child sexual abuse crimes. I'm not mad at him. And again, I know I sound
if you're in prison for life, then what the fuck? If you just had 10 years and you stood on I'm gonna kill 3 people my first day, you're an idiot to me. You're an idiot to me. You had a date to come home. And now you standing on some, I'm going to kill 3 pedophiles just because they hurt kids.
I think he did have life, though.
Okay, then that's a different thing. Because it's like, what can you do to me? I'm here forever. And I know that.
Yeah.
So you probably mad. You going to wild out. Okay, cool. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah. But,
That's nuts. To piggyback, Graham, too. This Julio Fulio homicide where they killed Julio Fulio in Florida. These guys drove from another state to Florida to kill him, I hear. 4 guys and a girl. The girl stood down, 10 toes, or I think she was 17 years old. She got 10 years because she told and all that kind of stuff. So got her out of here. The 4 guys got convicted of a first-degree homicide. In Florida, they was talking about giving these kids the death penalty. So 4 of the kids, 2 of them are cousins. Their dads are brothers locked up with life already. So now here they go about to get death. They about to outdo the dads. They about to get death. So they in the courtroom. They got one kid who was dressed up in a suit, who obviously got some support from his parents, his neighborhood and family. They're in the courtroom. He got his suit and tie on, and he is begging for his life not to be on death row. And the warden starts to talk and says, I want to say, I don't think we should kill these kids because they young, they in their prime, they good for labor. And we can get a lot out of them in the years if we give them life without parole.
Wow.
Just to say that in a courtroom was damn, we literally are making slaves here. This is what they're about to do. They're about to work you out in prison. And in Florida, I don't know, you probably have them prisons down there where you work on a chain gang and shit like that. But he said they under 25, they haven't reached their primes yet, and they're young, and we can get good labor out of them for the rest of their lives. So I would suggest not killing them, Your Honor.
Wow.
This is what the warden of the prison said. But again, these kids are down there putting up their middle finger at the judge while the judge is talking. One kid is in the police room shooting guns to, I forget the bald head kid name that everybody likes, the rapper.
I don't know who any. So Julio Fulio was a rapper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but what's the bald head kid that everybody follows like a cult? Bald head kid that he took all them pictures in his drawers that everybody like.
I'm lost. I have no clue.
Okay, well I can't think of his name. NBA Youngboy. So him, they follow him, but he was in the police room acting like he's shooting and rapping NBA Youngboy, and he's about to be arrested for homicide. Then he gets in the courtroom and he's laughing at his friend who's begging for his life with his family with his suit and tie on, saying, please don't kill me. I don't want to be on death row. He was sitting in the other chair just laughing and middle fingering the judge. And then the warden says, we're going to make some slaves out of y'all.
It's sad. These kids, again, you're leaving kids to kind of raise themselves. They have a lack of empathy. They've been desensitized to death because they've seen so much of it from such a young age. They've been desensitized to prison because it's everybody they know goes to prison. And unfortunately, sometimes it's if you look, it's not it's not like, damn, I had my dad all my life and then he went to prison. If you never had your dad, or like you only know your dad from prison, he called, he had conversations, you know, he talked to your mom, he talked to you and the kids, and that's normal life for you. You may not realize, like, this ain't a good thing. That's not
normal.
Right.
Yeah,
but again, normal. If you got your dad, your uncle, your cousins, like, oh, everybody in the neighborhood I gotta get home. I don't even know if you don't even, jail not even like it is back in the day where, like, you gotta be home at a certain time. Cause, like, they can call anytime and call, before, like, they could only call we only had house phones, but, like, they can call cell phones. You could be anywhere. They be having iPads. They sneak and have cell phones. Like, it's just, it's one of them things now where I don't think some kids understand the gravity of prison. And we've listened to some interviews where people say, like, it didn't hit them until year 7, year 10,
11
of like a life sentence. So it's, you know, it's sad that we are losing like a huge portion of future generations.
Yeah. I think it's just fucked up. And when we at now where a warden, I've never seen that, a warden be at your sentencing and speak on your behalf to say, we gonna work him out, don't kill him. I think we shouldn't put him on death row because he young and he ain't reached his prime
He
yet.
gonna be a good slave.
I can get some good work out of him with life without parole. That is insane. My tears would come down my goddamn, I would melt in the chair if I heard some shit like that said about me. Like, I'm really not a person no more. Like, y'all about to go in here, beat on me. I'm a number. And y'all about to work me 16 hours a day, every day for the rest of my life? Man, look, hell with that. Hell with that.
And how old are they?
20.
Oh, okay.
20 years old. And it's 4 of them. And again, their dads, the 2 boys are cousins. Their dads are brothers locked up for the same homicide, and they both got life. So now your sons come up and outdo you that, and they about to get death. That is insane. Last gram, rest in peace to Kyle Busch. He was a NASCAR driver, a real popular NASCAR driver. He was 41 years old. He was racing last week, and over the radio asked his team to find him a doctor, and this week he died. Just died. I don't know what for, but I not knew Kyle Busch, but I knew of Kyle Busch. Like, this is NASCAR, and I know it's a white thing, but he was a good race car driver. His name, everybody will know Kyle Busch. My wife might not, but Kyle Busch is known in the sports world. So yeah, rest in peace to Kyle Busch.
It's crazy that he knew something was going on and asked for a doctor.
Yep, he told his team, just, I need y'all to find me a doctor, and a week later he died. 41 years old. And I've been knowing him since, like, at least like the last 15 or 20 years. Like, he'd been in the NASCAR thing. And I only pay attention to that because of Jordan, but I know of Kyle Busch. But rest in peace to Kyle Busch, and condolences to his family, his wife. I think he has like 3 daughters and shit like that. So, a shame. That's a wrap. Act 2 the podcast, episode 277, coming to a close. Your boy International Walt.
Your girl Tasha goes with the most.
Y'all should know by now. If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace.